Welcome to the 2024 Carl Albert High School Football Coaches Show. This is Coach Dunn's fourth year coming in here at Carl Albert High School. How does it feel? 4 years down.
Feels great. Obviously, it was a dream come true getting to come back home where it all started for me. This is where I decided and learned that I wanted to be a football coach one day. And so getting to come back here and work with these guys and try to be, something that my coaches were for me, for these guys. It's been a lot of fun these last few years, and looking to go have another really good season this year.
It's going to be a good season. There's always some things that have to be reworked every single year, and it's kind of the joy of high school football is that you get to actually work on new players and new things, and you've got some new coaches in. But we've also got a lot of young athletes and a lot of young talent in. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. Well, just kind of piggybacking off what you're saying with what's fun about football and each season being a new season. We tell our guys that it's just that. Last year's successes were last year's success. This is a new team, a new identity. The culture, the tradition, all that stays the same. But this group is trying to leave their own legacy. I think Bill Belichick's probably the best coach that I can think of that does year in, year out in his team's organization program. He really knows how to put the pieces together. It's a puzzle, and you're trying to figure that out, and you really only get a few weeks to figure it out before the first game. And it's an ongoing puzzle that you're trying to put together, and that's what we're currently doing. We've got a really, really veteran crew of guys that are coming back off of these last two state championship teams. And it's really a lot of our skill positions. We've got really veteran skill, and then we're a little bit younger in our offensive line, defensive line. But starting with our veterans, obviously we've got some really good football players. Our senior class is phenomenal. Trystan Haynes, guy that's committed to Oklahoma. Caden Davis, get to see from these two guys here in a little bit. But both of these guys are really guys that are stalwarts. They've been in our program, and they really push the limits every single day, and they get our team and make us better daily with the way they practice. Trinae Washington, Marcus James, you just go down the list. Our veteran skill is just really, really good right now. And a lot of guys that were kind of unsung heroes from last year. In that state game against Del City, we had Christian Oku played quite a bit in the back end for us defensively. Byron Stubbs did some good things for us. Another senior, DeAndre Dukes, played out of his mind in that game. And just a lot of guys that we're looking forward to having really big years. Todd James, Xavier's brother, he did really good stuff for us last year, and he's playing on both sides of the ball. And, and so we feel really good about what we got going on right now. But some newcomers, offensive line-wise, we've got some young guys that we really like. Cody Volker is the mainstay there. He's our one returning senior starter on the offensive line. And Wyatt LeClaire is a guy that stepped up and is doing good things for us right now. Elijah Esparza, a sophomore, doing really good stuff for us. Thomas Welch, it's a newcomer for us, and Thomas has been great. I think he's going to be a big-time football player for us on the offensive line, and he plays a little bit of defense as well for us. Kalen Smith, that's kind of a guy that came out of left field that's going to play some offensive line for us, and he's doing really good stuff. Kalen,
yep.
He's a swimmer and great athlete, and he's getting bigger, and I don't know, he might sink when he's an offensive line. I don't know if he's going to be able to swim very much longer, but so we've got a good crew up front that we feel good about. And then our defensive line. LeBron Royal is a guy that everyone's going to get to know, and I think Carl Albert fans are going to love his motor and love his energy. Joe Thomas, same way. Crazy Joe, he plays like that. It's a fitting nickname for him. Nick Hill's another newcomer we like, defensive lineman, and then Caden Perucci's a kid that was a freshman last year, a sophomore now, and so we're young. We got a lot of sophomores, lots of juniors, with a really veteran crew coming back with our skill positions.
So when you talk about having that veteran crew come back, this didn't just start 3 weeks ago. Didn't start when school started. Tell us a little bit about your summer and what you've seen, and is that veteran crew really leading this younger group?
Yes. So I say this all the time, and probably gets redundant for people who talk to me a lot, but when your best guys are also your hardest workers, it makes life as a coach a lot easier.
Absolutely.
And that's one thing that I can say with 100% certainty is that our hardest workers are our best players. Our best players are our hardest workers. There's a reason why these guys are in the position that they're in. You know, I don't any coach that takes credit for anything with these guys that are getting recruited highly and getting the accolades like they have. You know, Caden being the defensive player of the year, runner-up last year, and a two-time All-Stater. Trystan is an All-Stater by all publications and the #1 recruit in Oklahoma. And it's not about the coaches. These guys have God-given talent. Now, coaches do have to make sure that these guys, they come in and they're humble and they do things right and they work the way that they're supposed to. And we've never had to ask these guys. These guys work their tails off. They went to work. We won a state championship first week of December. I think we took 1 week off. We maxed out. Then we started off season. We came back after Christmas break, and so these guys have put the work in. They've had a really good off season, had a great spring. You know, our football players run track. That goes hand in hand as far as I'm concerned, and that really paid off for us this year. We won a state championship in track, and it's a lot of football players out there that are running, and it's guys that, you know, if you're not afraid to go get on the track and go run, then I feel good about you going out there on the football field on Friday nights and making plays. And these guys, they've had a great spring. Team camp's good. Our performance course this summer was great. And then fall camp so far has been really, really good. So we feel really good about these guys and this group of kids.
All right. Kind of the last question. We'll have some of the guys come in, but a couple of your coaches that have coached for a long time, they stepped aside. One of them is Mike Corley. Tony Borum's going to be here for game days, I understand, but he stepped aside for everyday work. But you've picked up a couple of guys, and you've got some people that have been here for a couple of years now that have really stepped in and begun to take over. So who did you pick up this year?
Yeah, so Coach Cornelius Douglas took over coaching our safeties, and he's doing our weight room throughout the day. He comes to us from Navarro Junior College. He's been coaching there, I want to say, the last 4 years. He's from Lawton originally, Lawton High School. He was an all-state quarterback, and he was actually an all-state soccer player too. And Coach Douglas went to Texas Tech on a football scholarship. He actually played both ways there. So it just kind of tells you what kind of athlete he was. It's hard to do that. You don't see a lot of guys in Division I football that play both sides of the football, especially in the same year in the same game. You know, a lot of times it's people that move around, and from 1 year they're a safety, then the next year they're a receiver, whatever. But Coach Douglas brings really good energy. He's got great knowledge when it comes to football. He's a guy that can bounce ideas off of. He was the strength and conditioning coordinator for the football team at Navarro, so he has a lot of knowledge in that realm as well. And we're really excited about having him. He was the assistant head coach at Navarro, and when I had a chance to hire him, I called Navarro's coach, and he wasn't happy about him losing him, but he was really happy for him having the opportunity to come back home. And Coach Douglas wants to be a head football coach one day, and thinks that his calling is high school football. And so we're lucky to have him with our staff now. We got a new athletic trainer, Michael Taylor. He started with us on Monday. And that's going to be a good benefit for our program. We're lucky to have our own athletic trainer here on site. That really helps us out. And I can tell he's going to be a lot like Christian. He's going to want our guys to get back on the field, and he's going to do everything he can to do that. And then we got our guys, our mainstays that have been here. You know, our coordinators are still the same, and Coach Madden, offensive line coach, Coach Looney, and Coach Starr, Coach Wiley, our wide receiver coaches. Coach Copeland, he retired from the classroom, but he's still going to be coaching for us. And on the defensive side, you've still got Coach Farley. You got Coach Douglas now that's new, Coach Finney, and Coach Wilkerson, and Coach Evans coaching linebackers, and Coach Herbert's our defensive coordinator, and he's coaching linebackers, and Coach Johnson's our offensive coordinator, and he coaches our quarterbacks. And our freshman staff, they help us on Friday nights as well. And we're lucky and blessed to have our own freshman staff that do a really good job for us, and that's Luke Mosier, Paul Evans, Corey McAllister, and Mitchell Gomez. And so we're really lucky to have the staff that we have. I've been a part of, 7 different schools since I've been coaching, 19 years, 7 different schools. And hands down, this staff, as far as just having a group of people that love to go compete and are always pulling for each other and really striving for the same goal.
Right.
It's unmatched. And I'm really lucky as the head coach here that I get to work with these guys daily. They make my life a lot easier.
It's great being in that coaching room, and character, culture, knowledge. and just effort. There's a lot of effort on the coaches' staff as well. It's not just what we see on the field; it's what we see day in and day out. We're back with you here on the 2024 Carl Albert Coaches Show, and we have Caden Davis and Trystan Haynes, and we're excited to have them with us today, just to kind of share a little bit about what it's like for you now. So just right off the bat, did you ever think you were going to make it to your senior year?
Yes, sir. I mean, I'm excited for my senior year, be able to go out here with those guys one last time and really win this last state championship to tie us up with for number 2.
Yeah, it felt like it went quick. I thought we just got here, just came in here to PC our freshman year, and it's already gone. Like, it's already over. By the time we're looking at it, we're going to be looking back 20 years later, coming back to look at the state championships and come back for a game. So, yeah, we're really excited for this year ahead.
So you're coming off of 2 state championships,
Yes, sir.
and you've worked very, very hard to get where you are. And so you think you've got another one in you?
I think so. We're going to have to, pay attention to the details and focus on everything. But I like our odds. We have a lot of dudes coming back, and we have some newcomers coming in. And I feel like we have a good shot, but we just have to focus on one game at a time to worry about at the end.
Yes, sir, for sure. Like he was saying, we know we've got coming back, then we got a lot of new guys on the offensive line, defensive line. But, we've been working all summer long, trying to get better, trying to fix those, make it as good as possible. So we're ready for week 1 for sure.
Okay. Kind of an oddball question maybe, but so I know that both of you like to lay the wood. And, I get excited because I love watching you play defense. But for each one of you, which do you like better? Do you like playing offense better? Do you like playing defense better?
I think it has the pros and cons. I like both sides of the ball. Like I think defense might be my thing just because that's kind of what I've done all my career here. But playing offense is there's nothing like scoring touchdowns and everybody's cheering and all the linemen coming up to you. There's not much better than that. But I don't know. I think I have to say defense, but I really it's kind of a hard choice.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same thing that he was saying for me too. I like scoring touchdowns and all that, and because I'm at corner, they could just not throw the ball on my side and that. Like I like scoring touchdowns too, so I like playing defense more. Like whenever the game's whenever we're playing a good receiver, but
Yeah.
whenever I'm getting the touchdowns, that feels really good too. Being able to celebrate with my teammates.
All right. Well, both of you are good on both sides of the ball. There's no doubt about that. And so just in the first scrimmage, first play from scrimmage, you pop off 65 yards down the right side of the field. You enjoy running away from people, right?
Oh yeah. I don't know if I could have done that in years past, but I've been trying to catch Trystan and track all the off season. So doing that definitely helps me be able to do that. But yeah, it's definitely a good time when you see just nothing in front of you, just green grass.
Yeah. So he said he likes trying to catch you. So your speed has always been just an incredible advantage to you. So, but speed isn't enough in regard to just all the things that you do. You've got great hands. You've got great awareness on the field. What do you think is one of your best attributes for football?
I would just say that I see the field as a whole really good. Like I'm able to see what the defense is doing and try to avoid them. And that going with my speed really makes me dangerous because I'm able to get into those spots quickly and I'm just able to avoid the defenders.
All right. So new start this year, and you get Midwest City coming up this Friday night. And we've had pretty good success against Midwest City, so we're not worried about that so much as. What are you looking forward to? What games do you point to on your schedule? Not that we want to look ahead, but what games do you point to on your schedule that you're excited about this year?
We're always going to take every team seriously, but the game that I'm looking forward to the most is probably the Stillwater game because they're supposed to be one of the better teams in 6A too. Mm-hmm. And we played Muskogee for that game last year, and that was a really good game. So I'm definitely looking forward to the Stillwater game.
Very good game, Muskogee. Came away with the W there.
Yeah, like you were saying, we're not going to look ahead too much, or we're just going to focus on the opponent we got every week. But Stillwater for sure, they're a bigger team and definitely will test us for sure. I can't wait for that game. I can't wait for really any game, to be honest.
Right. Well, the coach in me says, let's not overlook this Friday night. But as we continue on, there's always different players that you see that are younger. Maybe you can relate in regard to you thinking back and thinking, I was kind of that player. Who on your team this year can you look back or can you see that's either a sophomore or a junior coming up that you're looking forward to seeing excel this year?
Joe Thomas, he's our defensive end this year. He's put a ton of work in this offseason with me, and I can definitely see how bad he wants to succeed and how eager he is to learn. I was in a similar position, a smaller, kind of fast defensive end, and he's in that same boat. But he's just so eager to be better than what he is every day. Always asking to do stuff after practice or just calling me to ask me questions about this or that. So I think Joe Thomas could have a really big year this year.
All right.
I don't really know who I would say is in a similar position as me, but I definitely got a couple guys that I think that are going to do very good this season. I'm thinking about Elijah and Jackson. They both work really hard, and they kind of have the similar work ethic as me. Anytime I come out on the field, I see Jackson or Elijah, and they're just always working, trying to get better at their craft. So I'm definitely looking forward to see what those two do.
All right. Well, we're going to keep an eye on those guys as we continue to meet and get together. It's really great having you here today. This is our first coaches show, and I'm really looking forward to making the calls and watching you guys do your thing. We're back here with the Carl Albert 2024 Coaches Show, and we talked a little bit about defense and the defensive players. We talked a little bit about the offensive line, but how about your running backs and quarterbacks? What are we looking at there? I know we have a new man in, Daniel, who's coming in. But what I've seen is a great job by Woodring, doing a wonderful job at running the offense. Tell us a little bit about what we've got coming back this year.
Yeah, so quarterback-wise, we've got two seniors that are both playing that position right now, and both of them are going to play on Friday night. Both of them have different things that they do well, and we trust both of them to go out and make plays. I think it's going to be exciting to see what both of them bring to the table in a real live game situation. In our quarters, our live halves that we played, both of them have had success. So we're excited about that position and getting a lot of production out of that position. Running back wise, obviously, Caden, we heard from him a while ago. Caden is a really good running back and has been. He's been sitting behind Xavier Robinson a couple years, but Caden, we've said all along that he could have had that same kind of, he could go anywhere else in the state and he could be playing at running back.
Right.
He's so valuable to us on defense. It's kind of been one of those catch-22s. We want him on defense. We'd hate to lose him on offense.
Right.
So we've really that's kind of been a hidden secret over there. But and then LT Simmons, he's a senior and he's had a great offseason. He came here in March and he has just hit the ground running. He's a hard worker. He's a tough kid. He's a weight room guy. And he's had a really good offseason, good spring, had a good team camp. His fall camp's been good. LT's a pretty good defensive player as well, and a lot of other places he probably played a lot of defense, and we're not afraid to put him out there on Friday night. But between those two guys, I think we got something really special. Delijah Matthews, Trystan brought up Delijah a while ago, and Delijah's going to be by the time it's all said and done at Carl Albert, Delijah's going to be a name that I think everybody's going to know. He's a really good, talented running back. He's a talented receiver. He can do that. He's a talented corner. He's just one of those guys. He'll return punts. He's on a punt return package that we have with Trystan. So we're excited about him. Receiver-wise, Trystan, Haynes, and Trystan are obviously our two guys coming back. Trystan had 1,000 yards last year, and Trystan had over 800 yards receiving. And so those two guys, they're kind of our stalwarts there. And then Byron Stubbs, Todd James, a lot of those guys that are also DBs for us. Cooper Brackage is a senior that played a lot of football for us last year, and Brackage is back this year. He's one of our receivers. Plays a little bit on defense. Our tight ends. We didn't talk about our tight ends. Marcus James. Mm-hmm. He was getting just as recruited. He was getting highly recruited as a tight end as well. I think TCU offered him as a tight end, and he's a really good player over on that side. He's a big threat. He's a good blocker. Maddox Wilkerson's a guy that I don't think I talked about earlier. Maddox is on both sides of the ball for us. Defensive end, one of our bigger ends, and then he's a tight end for us. And Maddox is Coach Wilkerson, Jimmy Wilkerson's son, and it's his senior year. And we're looking for really big things out of Maddox as well. And some young guys there. Bo Davis. Bo is a sophomore and plays a little bit of linebacker, but also plays tight end. And I think he'll be our second tight end Friday night, and he'll be a guy that gets out there on the field some. And we like what Bo brings to the table. I think he's going to be a big-time football player when it's all said and done. Jackson Webster, he's another one of our receivers that does really good things for us there. Young guy, Austin Johnson, Coach Johnson's son, our offensive coordinator. He's in some of our personnel packages, and he's going to be a same thing, bright future for him as well. Carl Beyond Young is a guy that has played both sides of the ball for us some. He was a receiver last year. He's playing a little bit of running back this year. He's probably our bigger back. He's a guy that we like to get out maybe in front of a quarterback some. But he's also our starting Sam linebacker right now. And he's done great. His first two scrimmages were unreal. We've told him all along, if you'll go be a dude out there, you're going to make this defense that much better because we've got really good inside linebackers. Got really good DBs. We got a really active defensive front, and now with Carl Beyond playing so well out there in the stuff that he does for us, he really makes us multiple. He's truly a hybrid, safety / linebacker. He's got the build, he's got the frame, he's got that kind of ability, and he can cover, he can tackle. He's a big hit guy. I mean, he's going to make us really, really good if he keeps progressing like he is right now. He's going to make our defense really good, and so. All around, we're looking at a really talented football team. You have to continue to do the daily things, and our thing this year is we're talking about dominating the details. So on their helmets it says dominate on the back, and most people are going to look at that and say they're thinking it's dominate an opponent or dominate the person across from you. Right. It's more about dominating, just keeping it in our guys' minds that we're dominating everything in our life. That if it's worth doing, it's worth doing right, and right. So. Dominate the details is an everyday thing. It's a classroom thing. It's a practice habits. It's how you treat your parents at home, how you treat your siblings, how you treat other people. It's encompassing everything that they do in their lives, and so that's kind of our thing this year.
Right, and Caden even mentioned that when he was sitting right there, was that the details are important, and that's what they're working on. So
absolutely.
All right. Well, last brief question. Are you ready for the season? I mean, we're in game week now. So
right. Well, if I wasn't, it'd be too late, and it's here. So no, I'm way excited about Friday. Like you said, it seems like these guys have been here forever.
Yeah, it does.
And I tell the seniors every year, you're going to go through a lot of last. This is the last time you're going to have opening night. Mm-hmm. It's the last time you're going to potentially play Midwest City. It's the last time. There was a lot of those throughout their senior year, and it just seems like yesterday, Caden Davis was blocking a punt his freshman year against Shawnee, I think. It seems like yesterday when I watched Trystan as a freshman, I think I don't know if we had a freshman receiving record, but I think he probably broke it. He had like 20-plus touchdowns, and then as a sophomore, him playing for us and watching him in the McAllister game at the state championship and how physical he played. We knew he was a big-time cover guy. He's a big-time receiver, big-time athlete, and we talked to him early on about we need you to be a big physical presence. And by the time we get to the end of the year, he was making tackles for a loss, in a big-time state championship. So we are way excited to see these guys go out and get to actually get to the field finally and play against an opponent, play a full 4-quarter game. And we're way excited just to go see what it looks like and go put, like I talked about earlier, put those puzzle pieces together and go make another run at this thing.
Well, that's why I mentioned right off the bat, this is your 4th year. This is your first group of seniors to run all the way through. And we're excited for this season. We're excited to see what it looks like. And we hope that you'll follow along each and every Friday night, sometimes on Thursday this year. But we'll keep you informed of that. And we hope that you'll continue to watch the Carl Albert 2024 Coaches Show.